guys, it's Rachel with Bee Hill Dog Training. Quarantip for you today is called They're Still Dogs. And we're going to start off with a little story time. So, I am currently staying in my parents' house while my family is between houses. So, I have invaded their new house that they've only lived in for like 2 months or so. Myself, my two very young children, an almost 3-year-old and a 10-month-old, and then our 3 large dogs. So, yeah, we've tried to keep the chaos as minimal as possible, but there's still a lot of it. And one thing that I've tried really, really hard to do with my dogs while I'm staying here is just to make sure to keep them out of trouble as much as possible. I mean, you guys, if you've been following the page, you know, my dogs live under a very high level of structure all the time. Hi, Mom. I see you're on. She got to see this pretty much live and in person. But, so you guys know that my dogs live with tons and tons of daily structure. It doesn't mean they're perfect, and it doesn't mean I'm perfect about implementing it by any means. But on a regular basis, they are, you know, they live with lots of structure, lots of rules, lots of boundaries. They've gone through tons of training, and they are still dogs. And that is so important to remember. Why are you shushing me, Mom? Oh, you're being quiet. Okay, well, you're still interrupting me somehow. Funny how that happens. If you guys hear squeaky toys in the background, my daughter is playing out there, but I do believe that's my dad that's playing with the squeaky toys. So shout out to him if we hear him in the background. But anyway, okay, so guys, there's still dogs. So the story time for tonight. My 3 dogs are in the backyard. Actually, just 2 of them. May was in the house. So Belle and Kronk were in the backyard for a little bit. I had come inside, I don't know, maybe it had been a half hour, maybe even an hour. I don't know. And they've been spending lots of time in the backyard here. Hi, Andy. I see my brother's on watching. And so I was actually standing in the bathroom with my daughter as she was washing her hands or something, and my mom came in and got me. I believe the words were, "Your dogs have not been good." And I went, oh shit. Because I'm thinking my dad had some tools out there from doing work today, and I'm like, oh God, what did they do? They're not usually one for like messing around with the tools and stuff. That's not really their thing. And I go outside, and I see this giant, I recognize it, it's a pool toy, and it's actually from the previous owners, and it's up under the pool deck. There were a bunch of old pool toys. And so apparently the dogs had gotten up under the pool deck and ripped open the giant turtle, and I see what initially looked like stuffing all over the yard, and realized very quickly that it was not stuffing. Thousands of teeny tiny little styrofoam balls all over the grassy yard. I don't even know how I'm going to clean this up. It's getting dark out at this point, so I can't even really see all that well. And so at this point, this is where I want to remind you to have a sense of humor with your dogs, and also to take responsibility for your dogs, because I'm honestly not in the least upset with them. Obviously, I wish they didn't do it, but they're dogs. Whose fault was that? It's mine. I left them unattended in the backyard. And even though they have not been getting into trouble back there a whole lot, I mean, there's been some digging, there's been some adjusting to being in a new place. But for the last week at least, they've been great out there. No issues. And I left them in the yard. I came in the house. I wasn't checking on them, and they got into trouble. Because they're dogs. They're like kids. So I didn't even get mad at them. I believe I took it as a photo op. So if you're watching live, then check back a few minutes after I'm done with this. I'll post some pictures and a video or two. But yeah, so, you know, then I got to clean it up. And that's where it gets funny too, because I get a trash bag, and I start trying to collect these, I'm talking teeny tiny little styrofoam balls, and I'm trying to collect them up, and as I'm grabbing them, you know, I try and cup them like this, and they just fall right out of my hands. They're so small. And so then I'm trying to grab handfuls out of the grass, and the grass is bouncing and just flinging them everywhere. So, like, that's not working, and I ended up having to get my parents' vacuum cleaner and vacuuming up their backyard. So if the neighbors looked out their window, they would see me standing there in the dark, running a vacuum cleaner on the grass. So there's your mental image for the night. This isn't some big, in-depth training tip for you, but it's just a reminder, like, you gotta keep your sense of humor, and you gotta remember they're still dogs. They're gonna get into trouble. They're gonna do things wrong. They're not perfect. I mean, none of us are perfect, and they're dogs. They're gonna make mistakes. So take responsibility if your dogs get into trouble, if your dogs get into the trash can, or they tear something up, or they, do something they shouldn't. Ultimately, that's on you. And we all make mistakes, and even highly trained dogs will tear up a turtle. So that's what I will leave you with for tonight. I will be back. Hopefully this made some of you laugh. I'm seeing some little laughing emoticons or whatever they're called. Emojis. I know. I'm like an old person, guys. The fact that I even know how to use live is pretty impressive. I'm not very big with the technology here. Anyway, hope this brought some laughs to you guys, and hope you guys have a nice evening, rest of your night. I'm going to go kind of desensitize, that's not the word I'm looking for. I'm going to go chill with a bowl of cereal, because that's what I do. Decompress, that's the word I'm looking for. I'm going to go decompress with a bowl of cereal. Mom, I see you laughing at me. I'm going to go out and laugh with you in person. And good night, guys. I will see you again tomorrow with another training tip for you.